Now with the patterns in place, it is time that we are going to add this texture, this new texture, to our template, the template that we had in the tutorial. I'm going to File, Open, and I choose my upper part, the copy that I had, and the lower, the copy. And I say Open. There we go. This is the one that has this lace part in that we made. I'm going to change the base to the texture that we have made. There is a very easy way in Photoshop to do this. Just double click the base, go to Pattern Overlay and select the pattern that we want. If we have done that, we can see it is in here and we say that is okay. Now we need the border to be not red but light blue. That too we can do with a layer style. Double click the border layer and choose color overlay. Now it makes it into a red color, but if I click this I get the possibility of selecting that light blue color that is in the pattern. I want to make it a bit more dark, a bit more contrast. Maybe like this, and I say OK, and it is OK. The easy way of getting the same color on the ribbon layer is right clicking this layer and click Copy Layer Style, and then go to the ribbon and say Paste Layer Style. And now you see the ribbon is in the same color blue as is as the rest. If I go to the lower part, I can copy the same color here now on the border of the lower part. So Paste Layer Style. That part is done. The base part, we can copy the pattern, but we can also take it like this. But there is something odd that you should know. The properties between the upper and the lower part are not exactly the same, which means that the upper part has a 20% smaller pattern than the lower part by default. So in order to get those two together, so they match, you will need to shrink and scale down this pattern and make it 80%. There we go. So we click OK. Now the two will match. That is, they will match in size. In Photoshop it's very easy to match upper and lower part of the texture as well. And I'm going to show you how to do that. In order to do that we need the original templates, both the upper and the lower. There we go. And what we will need is this colored line around the template. So we go to the support file, and that is called the edge matching guide. See, that is the colored one. I'm going to drag a square around my entire texture. I do Ctrl C or take copy here. I go to my upper, and when I select one of the top layers and I do Ctrl V. And there you see is this colored lining taken over. This one I can delete now. I don't need to save it. And I do the same in the lower one. Open the support layer, go to this edge matching guide, which is the colored one, drag a square around the complete texture, Ctrl C, go to my lower part and say Ctrl V. Okay, and this one I can close again without saving. Now what is it that I want you to show? I'm zooming in, for instance on the upper part, and look for a significant part of the pattern. Well, here in this case you see a big flower and a small flower on top and a little flower a bit behind the big flower, and it is on the edge here where the two pink and the red one come together. Going to the lower one, zooming in, I can find that specific place. Here are the two pinks and the red, but there is no such flower here. By double-clicking the pattern overlay, I get the possibility to drag it around. As long as I have got this checked on, link with layer, I can move my pattern, and I see here is that same flower that I had in the upper one, and it is about this size and this position. So, and then I click OK, and later on we will see that they match more or less, not completely but more or less. In order to save it, to upload it to the grid, I take away that colored layer, of course, and I go File and say Save As, and I lower New Texture Blue, and I use the PNG. Save, yes. And I do the same with the upper. I take away the colored seams, and I say File, Save As, and I save it as upper, New Texture Blue, and here to use the PNG file. Save. Okay. These ones I can close. I can save them because I didn't actually change anything in the original. If I take away this pattern overlay, I've got the original back. So I can save this and then close it. The only thing you need to remember now is that the two pictures we just made, let's have a look, that is this one and that one, are still very big, so I need to scale them down. So I choose image, image size, and I make them 512 by 512. I use sharper for reduction, that is okay, there. Ctrl S for saving, and do the same here. Image, image size, 512, sharper, and Ctrl S. Now it is time to upload them to the grid. I opened my viewer and I'm going to show you how to import those textures and how to add them to the dress that I'm wearing. I use the Phoenix viewer because I have the possibility of uploading temporary pictures. Temporary textures doesn't cost you any money, and it is only to check if you have made no mistakes, if the borders are correct, if the pattern is correct, etc., etc. Don't sell any clothes using temporary textures because they will end up gray without any texture for any of your customers. But for designing properties, it is absolutely very, very good. So and I think that besides Phoenix, also Imprudence Experimental does the same. I don't know of any other viewers that do have this feature. I choose upload and I choose an image, and I will upload the upper part. Open, click this temporary button and say upload. It won't open like a normal texture, so you need to go to your recent items in order to see it. It will appear as soon as it is uploaded. In the meantime, I go into Appearance. I check my shirt and I use this temporary file on the shirt. And I click Save As New Spring Dress Upper, which is fine with me. I can do the same now. File, Upload, Image. With the lower part, open, temporary, upload. Check the pants part and use the temporary file here. Save As New Spring Dress Lower, save, and say OK. Now, to have a good look at our dress, we have to I can take away the skirt. The next chapter will teach you how to make from your own seamless texture a nice skirt texture. And now when it is rest, you can see the how your texture works out on the body.